Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. Merry Christmas. So I thought it'd be fun to do some more Star Wars Easter eggs. So I know I was going to do a Kylo Ren video, so I'll start with some Kylo Ren specific Easter eggs. Just careful for spoilers from the movie if you haven't seen it yet, and the ticket giveaway is still going on. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. It's just 2 IMAX gift certificates. So some of these are taken from the expanded material and the cross-section books that they've been releasing as part of the journey to The Force Awakens. So if you bought some of these books or you listen to the audio dramas, some of these might sound familiar. So a really big one first, Kylo Ren's lightsaber. The reason why it requires vents is because the lightsaber itself can contain the energy because it's built based on a cracked kyber crystal. So because it's cracked, that's why the blade itself looks like it vibrates. Unlike Rey, who's using Anakin Skywalker's original lightsaber, which is built perfectly based on Jedi specifications. The cool thing about kyber crystals is that they're very powerful, but this one is cracked, so very clearly it could blow up at any minute, just like Kylo Ren's personality. The lightsaber design itself is supposed to be 1,000 years old, going back to the Scourge of Malachor. Second big one, Kylo Ren's mask. The reason why it looks very reflective, like it's a very solid surface compared to Vader's mask, which had a lot of ridges, it had 2 separate holes for the eyes. Kylo Ren's is mostly meant to reflect back a lot of the stuff that's coming at him, so he's in a sense trying to reflect Vader's personality. It's a big personality thing, just like the lightsaber. Very unstable, very unfinished, very unsure of himself. Just riffing on other people's personalities, other people's lightsaber designs. Next big one, this actually makes you a little bit upset. So it turns out that Han Solo is the one that left Leia, like left their marriage, because of what happened to Ben. Turns out if you read the novel, you find out that Leia learned about what was happening with Ben, with Snoke trying to turn him to the dark side. She wanted to handle it on her own and was not able to. So therefore, Han Solo kind of blames Leia for what happened to Ben. Maybe if they had made trying to save him from turning to the dark side a group effort, they might have been able to stop it. Turns out Kylo Ren himself is about 30 years old. He was born within about a year of the Battle of Endor, and then Han and Leia were married about that time. So it turns out they were married for quite a period of time before Ben turned to the dark side, because it sounded like that didn't happen until he was in his teenage years. So they would have had to have been married and, had this happy family for at least about 15 years. But remember, Leia sent Ben away to train with Luke, so she wasn't around him the whole time. Next big one, not necessarily about the Knights of Ren, but about Snoke training dark side acolytes. Turns out Kylo Ren is not his first apprentice, but he says that he is his best because he started out as a light side Jedi. Most of his previous apprentices were like Darth Maul. They were always dark side Force users. The quote from the book talks about, Kylo Ren being this fallen Jedi. So the quote goes, "It's far more than that. It's where you are from, what you are made of, the dark side and the light. The finest sculptor cannot fashion a masterpiece from poor materials. He must have something pure, something strong, something unbreakable with which to work." So he just saying, Kylo Ren started out on the light side, then came to the dark. It's much easier for Snoke to sculpt a master from that clay than from just a pure dark side user. The next one's a little bit more funny. It's kind of a riff on a joke from A New Hope, where Han Solo says, "Careful, droids don't pull people's arms out of their sockets when they lose." Well, it turns out in the original cut of The Force Awakens, there was this really bloody cantina scene where Chewbacca actually does rip out someone's arms. It turns out Unkar Plutt here, the traitor that Rey kept trading scraps to, who wanted to steal the droid from her, chases her down to Maz Kanata's cantina, and that's where Chewbacca rips his arms out of his sockets. So Simon Pegg got his arms ripped out of his sockets. You can understand why they didn't want a really bloody scene like that in this PG-13 movie. But actually another Kylo Ren one here. So J.J. Abrams has actually kind of put forth a different interpretation of the character based on what he does to Han Solo. So I'll just say spoiler warning again. I said it at the beginning of the video, but in case you missed it, spoilers for what happens to Kylo Ren at the end of the movie. So here we go. J.J. Abrams says that what he did to Han Solo, killing Han Solo, was kind of like saying the character has no more good left in him. But in the book, in the book version that was based on an earlier version of the script, Kylo Ren goes away from that feeling bad about killing his father. So I actually like that interpretation a little bit more. Like, he is conflicted, he kills Han Solo, so that's all he feels he needs to do to cut off the pull of the light side of the Force, but he still feels bad about it after the fact. Obviously, the trilogy is going to be way more complicated than just being this simple redemption arc for Kylo Ren, but I do feel like it's going to be in there somewhere. Bring Ben home. Another big plot point I know everybody's wondering about. R2-D2 seemingly just miraculously wakes up at the end of the movie with the whole map, oh my god, I was asleep this whole time. Well, it turns out in the novel, it's because BB-8 wheels up to R2 with his piece of the map and says, "Look, I have this piece of the map do you have anything to complete it? And that's what wakes R2 up. It's not like some crazy explanation with Luke using the Force from the other side of the galaxy. It's just simply BB-8 with his piece of the map. J.J. Abrams has also said how he's cut a lot of dialogue, like Lawrence Kasdan was like, you don't need all that, just cut the dialogue, trust the characters. Well, part of that was another callback to Episode 4, with, Princess Leia saying, help me, Obi-Wan, you're my only hope. They had a moment like that with Rey and Luke. So you can understand why they cut that, it's just way too on the nose, and you kind of get that without them having to say it. Luke has a pretty solid idea why she's tracked him down. Another big R2-D2 Easter egg. So turns out he got maps, like the big map that he has at the end is maps of all the Jedi temples all over the galaxy. Luke was trying to find the first one. So that's why R2 is so important. When they were on the original Death Star, he downloaded all that information because Darth Vader, the Emperor, they had information on where all the Jedi were hiding, so naturally they would keep a database of that. So R2 was able to steal that. That's how Luke got the information. So once again, even though you don't see him a whole lot in the movie, R2 is one of the most important characters because he has so much information. Let me know in the comments though, do you guys actually want them to try and visit some of those other Jedi temples, or do you think it's going to be like a minor plot point? It sounds like it's just going to be a story thing, like they're not going to actually travel around and visit all these Jedi temples. But probably one of my most fun Easter eggs is the Tauntaun sleeping bag that Rey sleeps in. Like she sleeps in an AT-AT sleeping bag, just like the Tauntaun. So just more gas to throw on the Luke Skywalker daughter flames. And another really fun lightsaber one is when she has the vision, like it hallucinates and the floor changes and you see those panels light up. That's the exact same hallway design from when Luke Skywalker went to confront Vader for the very first time. So the takeaway is that the lightsaber is showing her old memories and places that the lightsaber has been that she has not been. But what's going to happen is there's a whole bunch of other Easter eggs. There's probably hundreds of Easter eggs that nobody has found yet. So I'll continue to do Easter egg videos as I find new stuff. But I'll be doing a couple more Star Wars bonus videos this weekend, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. There is a whole bunch of footage that just dropped. There's new trailers for Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow. There's even more new Flash footage and new Deadpool and new Doctor Who. So I'll post an updated video schedule on Christmas morning because there's like a whole bunch of stuff. I won't be able to do it all in the same day, but I'll get to it like in the next 2 days. So I'll post a schedule tomorrow. While you guys wait for everything to post, you can click here for my first Easter eggs video about all the cameos, all the special cameos in the movie, and you can click here for the latest Deadpool teaser trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody, let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.